Alright, hello. It's Wednesday the 16th, just before 6 a.m. I'm here. Just loaded up $175. That's where it cut me off at since the store's not open. And diesel's $5.09 a gallon, so it dropped 20 cents. I gotta go to Darlington to get a van, and then I'll be going down to Charleston to pick up a Hyundai SUV and a Ford Bronco. I'll see you in Darlington. Alright, here we are about 7:30. I'm at Darlington and just got this huge van loaded. These ain't too bad to haul if they pay good. I usually get decent fuel mileage with them, believe it or not. So I gotta go to North Charleston now to Hyundai and pick up a Hyundai. Should take about an hour and 45 minutes to get there. See you there. Alright, I got this little Hyundai Santa Cruz loaded up. I gotta go to Toyota dealership over here in Charleston on Savannah Highway. So I'll have to call them and ask them where to be at to load and unload. I've never been to that one, and that Savannah Highway can be very tricky sometimes. So I'll see you over there. Take me about 25 minutes to get there. This is one of these dealerships I was talking about. It's really tight to get in and out of. And this is like a hold lot for cars. But this dealership itself only got one entrance in, and it's got one exit out, which is the entrance coming in. I don't even know how they got this Bronco back here in this overflow lot, but I'll show you up here. There's another truck here. I've never been to this dealership. This Savannah Highway is a pain because they won't let you park in the road no more to unload and load at like they used to. So here's the other truck. And I'm right around this corner. And somewhere I'm going to have to use these two roads right here on the right and left to back out of here somehow. So let me load this and I'll be right back. I'm going to look and see if I can make this turn right here out of here. And I believe I can. Since them three spaces there don't have a car in them, should be pretty easy. This right here, you go down a one-lane road, so I could have pulled in here and back up across there, but this road's a little bit busy, so I'm gonna just do the circle, and then it won't put me as tight getting out either at the stoplight out there. I'll see you in here in a minute. So when you're coming down Georgia I-95 going southbound, there's a rest area at mile marker, I think 42. It may just be a higher past the exit 42, but when you get here, you'll have exit 38, 36, 29, which will take you out to St. Simon Island or St. Simon's Island. I heard Simon's, Simone. I think they prefer Simon's, and Jekyll Island. And every time we go to Florida on vacation, we break your trip up by staying here. And they had these wood carvings in a tree on the St. Simon Island. They're called tree spirits, and they make it like a scavenger hunt if you go. So there's 11 of them. We found 7 or 8 of them. And here's some other things they got, but you'll never know they're there unless you stop at this rest area or go there to their beach. And their beaches are really nice. To get to Jekyll Island, it's a $10 toll, where it was last June. It was $10. And St. Simon's is free. They got a lighthouse and stuff, which is right there. So if you ever want to break a trip up, if you're going to Florida or going north, that's the place to do it at. And it's like 15 minutes off the interstate. So it's about 5 o'clock, and I just got here about 30 minutes ago. at Econo Lodge in Norman Beach. So I dropped that Bronco and sent a cruise off tomorrow in a Cowie, and then this van goes to Lakeland tomorrow. Then I got 2 so far booked coming home from a Cowie, so that's pretty good to have to drop in one place and to pick up 2 there, and maybe I'll pick up 3. So it's currently about 5:15 in the morning on Thursday morning. I gotta take the Hyundai and the Bronco still to Cowie, and this van to Amazon distribution center in Lakeland, and then I'll be going back to Cowie to pick up 2 more. So I'll see you in a Cowie. Alright, I made it to Orlando. About an hour and 20-minute drive from the hotel, and it is a packed house here with hardly nowhere to park. So I'm going to drop these 2 off and head to Lakeland. Now I'll probably film there at the distribution center. Alright. Alright, I just got here at the Amazon distribution place to drop this van off. Look how big this place is. So let me drop this off, and I'll see you back at a Cowie Auto Auction, which is about another hour back, to load 2 vehicles and hopefully 3. So it took me a little bit longer to get here because the traffic was backed up on 4, where it usually backs up at. And I only got the 2 right now, which is a Lexus and this Ram. I do this route all the time, so I know kinda if anything's gonna pop up or not today, on the day that I'm here. And more than likely it ain't, unless it's gonna be about midnight tonight. So what I'll do is I'm gonna try to get somewhere in Georgia tonight and maybe pick up around Savannah tomorrow if anything pops up. It's rare that you'll see something from Savannah going that short of a distance, and if it is, it's usually like a van. I'm gonna load these 2 up real quick. The other one's that Cummins Ram. The Cummins is pretty heavy. And the wheelbase on these with the 8-foot ramps, well, 96-inch ramp, you gotta load slow, where the weight of the truck will squat the back end of the trailer and knock your ramps plumb off. And you'll have the front wheel on the trailer, but you won't have the rear wheel. Sometimes the rear wheel will be laying on top of the ramp. So just take your time. You gotta take your time almost anything doing this job. Be patient. If you ever get in a hurry, you'll mess up some stuff real quick. Alright, let me strap these down. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm loaded up. Took about 10 minutes to get loaded up. And I'll start heading back just to see if I can find something else. I'll look for Daytona, but I'll be in Daytona in an hour. So Jacksonville, Brunswick, or Savannah will be my best bet to find one more if I even do. And if not, we'll roll it over to the next week. I always haul trucks. If you live in the South, that's about what you're gonna have to haul, trucks all the time, coming and going. I'd like to find a trailer where I could get 3 trucks on this one, but I don't want to use a flipper. I'd like to have one that's low profile where I could get 3 on. All right, we'll see you tonight. All right, so I made it to Hardyville, if you can hear me. This is exit 5 in South Carolina. I'm staying at the Days Inn tonight. Over the bridge on the other side of the interstate's the Quality Inn I stay at a lot. This one's got the Waffle House in front of it, so I was only here. If you stay at the other one, you want to eat at Wendy's or Burger King, so I wanted Waffle House tonight, but I'm at the Days Inn. I think the night's room was $67 right here. I know tomorrow when I get the receipt, that's $95 right there. So this is about 4 hours from home, pulling the trailer. I got them 2 drops, and I'm gonna try to find one more, or maybe a couple out of Charleston in the morning. So I'll see you in the morning, probably around 6. It's just a little bit before 5:30 on Friday. I'm gonna drop this Lexus off where I dropped the 2 off 2 weeks ago at the Hendrick Lexus in Charleston, and then I'll be going to this dealership, Hoover the Mover or Carfire. I don't know what they go by, but I went there last week and the week before with that Dodge. It's cold here. This is the first time I had frost on the windshield this year. Somebody backed their trailer up right in front of me. If I had another truck beside of me, I wouldn't be able to get out. All right, well, I'm gonna do a pre-trip and see you at Lexus in Charleston. So I'm here at the Lexus dealership to drop the Lexus off. I can't get this Dodge to crank. Anytime I mess with a white 2500 Cummins, it's a guarantee that it's not gonna crank. And this one won't crank either. So I gotta go and drop the Dodge off, and then I'll have to come back and drop the Lexus off. So about 8 o'clock. It took me about 30 minutes to get over here. I'm gonna just roll this Dodge off if it'll roll off. These things are hard to jump off. 2 battery. I just had a full jump box and it just killed it. I don't know. I always have a problem with a Dodge with the Cummins in it. If it's got a dead battery, I can never get them to crank. I've had jump boxes, and I've even hooked my truck to 1 battery with a jumper cable. But I'm gonna just see if I can roll it off and set it right here and let them deal with it. So it did roll off. I'm gonna get this checked in and head back to Lexus and drop that Lexus off. If I was to unloaded that Dodge over at Lexus, I would have never got it cranked. I knew this from past experience with them. It takes a lot more than 1 or 2 jump boxes to do it. All right, here we finally made it back to Lexus. Took about 45 minutes. I knew it was gonna take a while for the traffic down there on the Beltway. But let me get this here delivered real quick and I'll be right back. So I just dropped off at Lexus and I'm in this new lot and I got to back out. If you remember a couple of weeks ago I was here and had to back out of that entrance right there. So you still got to do a blind back out where you can't see behind you. And when I first started hauling cars, I had a friend, he told me one time, if you back out blind, just back out. And if they want to hit you, let them hit you, or they can stop one. And that's about how you have to think when you're trying to do it. All right, I'm done heading home. There wasn't nothing else that popped up, so I'll be heading home probably about 2 hours 20 minutes from now. I'll be there. I'll see you there. So it's just a little bit after 12. I've been here for about 15 minutes unhooking and looking at everything over. I could have been home about an hour earlier, hour and a half earlier, if I didn't have to go back to that Charleston with that Dodge today. That's why I don't never really give a guarantee on when I'll be there. And you kind of expect stuff like that to happen. If you don't, you'll be upset really bad. Those Dodges are just so hard to get jumped when they're dead. And it was cold last night, but yesterday at the auction, it was barely turning. It did crank yesterday, but that cold weather must have done it in. All right, I think we're good here. So I know this week I spent $68 one night on the hotel, and I think the next night was $68 as well. I put $150 when I first started my trip in diesel. Then I put $200 more in Round Oak, South Carolina. And then in Lakeland, I bought $100 worth at exit 44. There, off of 4, there's a Love's and there's a Shell, and I bought it at the Shell. And then when I got to exit 6 yesterday in Georgia, at the Atlantic truck stop, I bought 200 more. So that would be the diesel that I bought. I didn't buy no DEF because before I left, I filled up with a Peak jug at Advance. So that would be my expenses for the week, whatever that calculates to be. And if you ever put DEF in these things, I recommend it Peak or buy it out of the pump. I've tried the generic stuff in my other truck that I used to have, and it didn't work that great, I don't think. And then the only time I've ever put like an O'Reilly brand in this one, I got to Orlando and my DEF warning light came on, the reduced engine speed, and I had to reset the computer with the cables, and it resetted, and I got it to come home. But I did put a DEF heater in the tank right there when I did it. But I only burned the Peak or buy from the pump. If you buy from the pump, it's so much cheaper too. All right, well, we're gonna call it a weekend. Thank you. I was wanting to show you something. If you remember on my fuel filter change video, I said my truck was hesitating sometimes when I'd stop and get a diesel in the mornings or something. And what it would do is it would run down good down the interstate, and then after 30 minutes to an hour of driving, I pulled over and get diesel and come off the exit ramp. It would like never shift. It would go up to 30 to 40 miles an hour real good, but then it would take it about 6 miles to get to 70 miles an hour. But then if I went down the road and cut it off, it would work normal again. So I remember this trick that I did. One time somebody tried to steal my exhaust 2 years ago. They cut the front of my exhaust and it set all the temperature sensors off, and it left me on the side of the road. So what I did then is what I did this week. I think I did it Tuesday. But on these battery terminals, so the truck's got 2 batteries. I unhooked the negative and the positive, and unhook the negative and positive over here, and these 2 here will connect, or you can make them touch each other, and I wrap tape around those, not with it on the battery though, that make them completely disconnect from the battery, and I take these 2 together where they touch, and these 2 will not. So with them hanging off the battery, I'll put a set of jumper cables on it, but the same end touching both of the clamps, were kind of like they're touching each other. And what I'll do is it'll do like a factory reset, and then after I did it, I let it idle for about 15 minutes, and then I drove it around. Supposedly letting it idle will set the idling on it, And then when you drive it around, you drive it normal. And I don't know how long to drive it. I drove it about 10 miles, stopping and going. And this week when I was out on the trip, it didn't have that problem. But I'll be a believer if it goes 2 more trips like that with no shifting issue. I was thinking it was the TCM. And I talked to Ford, and Ford said that the one that I called said they never put a TCM on a truck, which is transmission control module. So I hope it's fixed now. So that's how I fixed that issue for this week. So we'll see if it continues. So if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe, and I appreciate it.